Right, we're rolling. This is the third time I've tried to do this. I kept thinking I turned the damn thing on and I hadn't. I hope everyone's well and keeping cool in the heat. It's been pretty warm up in Scotland, which is very unusual, and very humid. Yesterday we had thunderstorms as well and torrential rain. But as we say in the UK, the gardens needed it. Anyway, this week we're doing episodes 14 and 15, which is the kitchen sink. I've been playing around with editing. I'm learning quite a lot as we go along, and I actually think I'm getting better at making these videos. So I'm pleased with my progress so far. So I will turn the camera around, we'll have a look at the magazines, and then the next bit is kind of, I've speeded up the process, so you'll see a little bit of the process, of each process of making the sink, but in a kind of speeded up format. And then I will pop back in at the end to show you the final product. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you at the other side. Right, so here's 14, and it is really just a continuation of the book. So it's all about getting started with making furniture, and it talks about the kind of tools and materials that you're going to need. Again, some lovely illustrations, notes on safety. It says, providing that you work in good light and that you are not overtired or unwell, only the simplest precautions should be necessary. Basically, I think as with anything, it's use your common sense. Keep your hands away from any blades you're using. If you're going to do a lot of sanding, I would also wear a mask. They're the only two bits of safety that I can think of as regards doll's house safety goes. Yeah, so it's talking about making a jig there, which I've never bothered doing. I just use my trusty Lego blocks and my trusty brass thingy. That you'll see a lot with that brass thingy in the rest of this video. And then chapter 2 gets on to making the room boxes, which I think is great. If you can, as I said before, if you can get hold of just the magazines, even if you don't want the kit that goes with them, then they're really worth having. And the first one is the country kitchen, and it begins by talking about making a chimney breast, which if you're just starting out, that's a really simple thing to make. I would kind of recommend starting with something like that. And then number 15 continues with the room box. And what they're expecting you to end up with is something that looks like this. And it tells you how to make absolutely everything. The box that you need to make, the doors, everything. So there's the stove. And then talking about the furniture. Now I really like this cupboard here because it reminds me of the cupboard that was in Frieda Khalo's bedroom. So I may later on in the series actually have a go at that cupboard. There it is, the cupboard that she kept her miniatures in. If you haven't watched any more of my videos, I keep meaning to explain at the beginning, the house I'm making is a kind of Mexican Frieda Khalo inspired creation. So there you go. It gives you, I'd really like to have a go at one of those settles at some point as well. That would be great if you were making an old pub, wouldn't it? Sorry if the light's shining. And that's it. That is episode 15. The last thing that it begins to talk about is ladder back chairs, which I always think look a bit fiendish. I don't think I'd have a go at those. I'll put that back there for a minute. Okay, the next bit is the making of the kitchen sink, where I've kind of tried something new. I won't be doing this every time, but because we've already made one sink, I just felt like it's basically the same, so I'm just going to speed it up. But I personally like the kind of slow videos on YouTube. I don't like this kind of go, got to get to the finished result mania. So most of my videos are just going to be me yapping on slowly, I'm afraid. And if you don't like it, then you can always vote with your feet. But anyway, I shall shut up for a bit, and well, you can get on to the next part. Right ho, here is the finished sink. I'm pretty pleased with that. I like the tiles that I made. I just printed them out on matte photo paper. I found an image on Pinterest and resized it, printed it out on the matte photo paper, and then used the dimensional magic to kind of give them a bit of a glaze and thicken them up a bit. And I think they work really well. So the last sink of the process is now complete and can go in the kitchen. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe. It does give me a bit of a dopamine hit when I see I've got another subscriber. This is really a present for a friend, and I'm just recording the process for a bit of fun, but you can't help but do a bit of a happy dance when you get an extra person watching. So I will see you next week for the next episode, and have a good week, and thanks again. Bye.